Yes.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
Good. So for anyone viewing today, we're going to answer some questions. We'll see how many questions we get to. We're going to keep this brief. We won't be on for a long time, but we do want to address a few questions each. So I think in our pre-chat, we decided that I was going to go first. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So here's a question that I received. How do I stop my thoughts and empty my mind? I've tried to meditate, but I can't. I just end up getting frustrated and annoyed. What am I doing wrong? So I think the first thing that I'd like to say to this individual is you're not doing anything wrong. A lot of people have this experience, this exact experience, where they just end up feeling annoyed and frustrated because they think they're doing something wrong. And it's really not a matter of stopping your thoughts and emptying your brain, although, certainly that mythology, that misconception has been perpetuated with regards to meditation. And I myself had the same issue. I felt like I'm doing it wrong. I'm not progressing. I can't empty my mind. It's just, it's not working. It's not working for me, right?
Right.
But the thing of it is that we're building focus and we're building awareness. And so one type of meditation is focused awareness, where you focus on an object of attention, an anchor. And for some, an easy anchor is the breath. For others, the breath is not available to them. And so they might pick a mantra. They might focus on an object. They might focus on a sensation, even a mudra, right?
Right.
Or their feet planted on the floor and feeling the sensations of their feet. There's so many doorways into meditation. And that's one of the things that I really love to share, is that it is accessible, it is simple, but it's in some realms it has gotten overcomplicated.
Right.
And but find the doorway that works and speaks to you. I usually will focus and do an unguided meditation for myself where I'm just focusing on my breath. And I pick the point where I can most feel my breath, where it's most prominent. And for me, it's the tips of my nostrils. And so feeling the sensation of my breath going in and my breath coming out.
Yes.
And you can choose to inhale and exhale through your nose, or like I just did, I like to take a long exhale through my mouth. But you can also tap into the sensation of your chest expanding and contracting, or your abdomen filling and emptying, again, expanding and contracting, right? The expansion and contraction of your abdomen. But like I said before, there are other things that you can focus on, that you can choose as an anchor to be an entry point into your meditation. And then as you progress, as you practice, this promotes a progression. So maybe if you're just starting out in meditation, maybe you only do 5 minutes. Maybe you do less. Maybe you do 2 minutes.
Right.
And then you can build on that. But it's about focusing on the anchor. And then when your mind wanders, because it will, your mind
Right.
will generate thoughts. You're not going to empty your mind. You're just going to bring it back to the point of focus. You're going to bring it back to the anchor, whatever you've chosen in focused awareness, whatever you've chosen to be your anchor or your object of attention. And, if you have to do that 10 times in 1 minute, then that's fine. That's part of the practice. It's not a mistake of the practice. It is part of the practice. And the practice promotes progress. You may only be able to do a couple of minutes to begin with, but you can incrementally increase your time and then incrementally increase the benefit that you receive from this practice. So
Wonderful.
I think that's what I would say.
Mhm.
Don't dwell in frustration or disappointment, or start beating yourself up about, oh, I can't meditate, that doesn't work for me. Instead, know that yes, your mind is going to wander, and it's a matter of training it back to your anchor, to your point of focus. And
Mhm.
that is the practice.
Wonderful. And Lourdes, I think that you locally sometimes teach mindfulness and meditation. So you have a couple of events that you do throughout the year. And I believe there's a local event going on. Is it this weekend or next week? I don't remember.
Well, so I do have an event happening tomorrow. It's actually a presentation about the brain benefits of mindfulness and meditation. This is one of the things that, once I started reading the research on the benefits, all the different benefits of mindfulness and meditation, I just have been so passionate
Right.
and enthusiastic about sharing this practice with others, because some people really just don't think that it's for them. Maybe
Right.
they think it's, new agey or spiritual, or, and so they're closing themselves off from receiving these benefits. But, there's so many benefits, including the ones directly associated with the brain, that everyone can partake in and benefit from, but it's about expanding the awareness of these benefits. So yes, I do have an event coming up tomorrow at the Hudson Valley Holistic Healing Center in Poughkeepsie, and it's my presentation. We will engage in some practice as part of the presentation, just to give folks a taste of, the simple, accessible practices that people can avail themselves of. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Awesome. And obviously, if anybody wants more information or would like to attend, they can reach out to you on by DM or Messenger, whatever social media you're using. So let me answer one question, and I think that we're probably only going to have enough time for 2 questions today. So the question that I received was, what do I do to stop someone from triggering me? Okay. And so from what I can gather from that is that this person answering the question has an issue with anger. And the thing is that when you try to get someone else to do something for you that allows you not to get triggered, that means that you're still loaded and geared up for when someone else does something and triggers you. So you can't stop the outside world from triggering you. That's not going to help you, because what that means is that you're going to walk around with your upset and frustration right at the surface. It's always going to be available to you, whether it's your wife or your husband, the kids, your coworker. the grocery store attendant, the person next to you in the car, the guy that made the left at the very last minute and you couldn't make your left, whatever the case might be, you're always going to get fired up, just pissed off immediately. And so what might be a better solution than trying to control the world is to release yourself, to heal that internal wound that is being triggered. When you are triggered a lot, that means that you're in a state right at right before you're triggered. You're ready for the fight. So you're stuck in a stage of fight and flight, but it hasn't been triggered, but it's right there. So what we need to do is to figure out, what are your triggers? And it doesn't mean that we're going to go through a history of all of the times that somebody got you upset, or somebody, really, when it gets down to it, is when somebody betrayed you, betrayed your trust, someone disconnected from you where you felt connected, or someone that you love just happened to have something else going on and it made you feel unloved or unworthy, made you start feeling insecure. And so what happens is that there's a one point that when you deal with that one point, and it's not about reliving anything that happened, it's about reframing that one point from the understanding of an adult. Because I myself, as a child, had built a lot of resentment. I'm not talking about somebody who, I'm going to help people with anger issues. No, I had anger issues. I had a lot of anger issues. I know what it's like to be ready to fight. I believed that I lived in a world that was unsafe. And at the core, that's the belief that we have to reframe. And it's not saying, the world is, candy land. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the world is not unsafe. There are parts in your own environment that you are completely safe. But emotionally, you still feel unsafe. And so it's about emotionally allowing you to feel the safety that you can now feel because of the relationships and circumstances that you're currently in. And then given just the virtue of the fact that you are an adult, that you have complete agency now, where we didn't have complete agency as children. And so it's about reframing that story so that you're not triggered anymore, because it doesn't have any, any TNT in there. There's no ammunition in there. There's no gunpowder in there anymore. You've let it wash away. And so now you're at peace, and you realize that people that trigger you, maybe there's people that are argumentative. That's their problem. That's not your problem. You don't have to engage with them. They're engaging with you because they like to fight. And so it's like, okay, they like to fight. They can fight with somebody else. They don't have to fight with you. It's none of your business, And so a lot of times how you control other people is by knowing that you have to reframe your story, and it's really none of your business what they're trying to do, or they're picking a fight with you because, you're low-hanging fruit because they know that you like to fight. And so just like when you start realizing, hey, you know what? I'm not engaging in any fighting. They can fight with somebody else. It's none of my business. I'm okay. And once you become, I'm okay with me, I'm okay with my circumstances, I can let go and accept what happened, then your triggers sometimes it's like a domino effect. Those triggers, all of them just fall off progressively because the dominoes just hit each other and you're like, oh yeah, that's not important. Oh, that's not about me. And it's much easier. It's very freeing to not worry about what people think or how they want you to react. It's just about you being in peace with yourself and your circumstances, and realizing and having a shift in your belief that you're safe and that you have agency.
Yes, yes. You said so much there that
I know somebody's going to have to rewind, and I apologize.
Well, I mean, a couple of things that I just want to touch upon is that belief of safety, because as children, right, so much is out of our control.
Yes.
Right. And so we don't feel like we have agency. And then we carry that around with us into adulthood when, logically our reaction as an adult, in our 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, is going to be different than that 5-year-old. But we're still reacting from that 5-year-old, like that emotional, that button, right?
Yes.
And so neutralizing our buttons makes us no longer a match for the folks who are wanting to fight and stir up trouble and just get into chaos and confrontation. We're no longer a match for that. And it's 100%. I agree with you that, we can only ever control ourselves. We can't control other people's behavior. And that trying to do that is a losing game. Absolutely. It will just keep you, stuck in the struggle. But neutralizing your own buttons so that people can't come along and push your buttons, that's your power. That's your
superpower. That's your superpower. Yes. Yeah. Yes. All right. Awesome. I think that next week we'll answer some more questions, and keep them coming. Keep answering. Sending questions, and then of course you have your event, and if anybody wants to reach out, that'd be fantastic too.
Absolutely. Well, great to see you.
Great to see you. See you next week.
All righty.